So, it's time for us to continue our examination of the book of Koheles. Last parak was a general introduction, and then Koheles says that he's going to um, examine wisdom, and he found that it was Rayon Ruach. And so, that said, reminding ourselves that that's where we ended, we can say now, chapter 2. Amarti ani belibi lecha naska b'simcha urei b'tov v'hine gam hu havel. Said to myself, let's go and examine joy, or experience joy, and we will examine goodness, and behold, this too was futile, havel. L'skok amarti meholal, v'lisimcha ma zo osa, to revelry, merrymaking, playing. I said this is holal, madness, insanity, craziness, mixed up, nonsense. And of joy, what good does this do? So, it says mirth and revelry. It doesn't accomplish anything. It says feels good, but it builds nothing. What mazos osa? What does it do? What does it make? Nothing. It feels good, but it doesn't last. Tarti belibi limsoch bayayin es basri belibi noheg bechachma lechos besichlus ad asher ere eze tov libnei adam ha'adam asher yasu tachas hashamayim mispar yemei chayehem. So then I went and I decided to mashoch, to be involved with wine. Limshoch as behind as basri, to involve my flesh with wine, and let my mind go to wisdom and to grapple with folly until I would see what is good for men to have to do in their few days under the heavens. So it says, I'm going to, it says, well, let's see about drinking wine, and then maybe that will help me understand wisdom and folly. That's what he set out in the first parak. He said, I'm going to study wisdom and folly and madness and understanding. And he said, well, I didn't get it while I'm sober, maybe I'll get it while I'm drunk. And we'll see what what then is good for people to do in their short lives under the world. Is it be folly, or should they be wise? And Higdalti Masai Banisi li Batim Natati li Karamim. I increased my possessions, I built myself houses, and I planted gardens, vineyards, rather, Karamim, vineyards. So, it says, the mind hasn't done anything for me, and so now I'm going to indulge the body. So wine and property and houses and stuff and vineyards. Asisi li ganos pardesim natati bahem eitz kol pri. I built gardens and orchards, and I put inside of them every kind of fruit trees. And Sisi Berekos Mayim, Lashkos Mehem, Yar Tzomech Eitzim. I made pools of water to drink from, and I'm sorry, not to drink from, so that I could water an entire forest of trees with them. This has made huge swimming pools and gardens and paradises. Kanisi avadim mishvachos uvnei vayas hayali gam mikne hayali gam mikne bakar tzon harbe hayali mikol shayu lefanai b'Yerushalayim. And I had servants, slaves, and maids, and a household followers, and I had also cattle and sheep, and I had more than anybody who was before me in Jerusalem. He's acquired tremendous wealth, wine, slaves, servants, property, beautiful gardens, landscaping, more so than anyone else who was ruled before him in Jerusalem. Kanisi ligam kesef zahav segulas malachim medinos asisi li sarim asaros nogos b'nei hadam shida v'shidos. I amassed silver and gold and the treasures of kings and the provinces, and I got myself sarim and saros, male and female singers, it's translated as, and the luxuries of the people, and shida v'shidos, and collections and collections of them. Ibn Ezra implies these are his wives and concubines. He got rich and stuff, properties, slaves, servants, officers, treasures, anything you could name, women, the whole works. But Gadalti v'Osafti mikol shaya l'fanei b'Yerushalayim al chachma amdali, and I was greater, and I amassed more than anything that was before me in Jerusalem, and I had, but my wisdom stayed with me. So he's saying that he didn't fall into the trap of letting his stuff run away with him and overwhelm his mind. V'kol asher shalu einai lo atzalti mehem lo manati es libi mikol simcha ki libi samech mikol amalai mali zehaya chelki mikol amalai. And did nothing that my eyes looked at, requested, did I withhold from myself, and I denied myself no pleasure, and my heart was filled with joy from all of my toils, and this was my portion from all of my working. So nothing that was good did he keep away from himself, and he enjoyed it. Oh, Fanis yani b'chol ma'asai she'asu yadai be'amal she'amalti lasos v'hinei kol hebel urus ruach ve'en yisron tachas hashamesh. And then he looked at all of the stuff, his fortune that he had built up with his work and his hands, and behold, all of it was futile, and the pursuit of wind, and there was no purpose for it, no value of it underneath the sun. And Ki ma adam sheyavo acharei hamelech es asher kavar asahu. And my mind, and I turn to examine wisdom and madness and folly again, because what is the person who will come after me, after the king, um, do with that which was built up before him? So what he's saying is that he's looking at it, and he says, I have all this wealth, I have all this treasure and joy and stuff. And then I've started to think about the wisdom and the madness and the folly of the whole thing, because I'm going to die, and somebody is going to come after me, and what will they value the work that went into getting to this place? What are they going to value what I did, what came long before them? They know nothing. It just lands on their head, lands in their lap as an inheritance, and they didn't do anything to get it. So what good is all this stuff in the end? You enjoy it, but then it just goes to somebody who has no appreciation of what it took to get there. And then I saw that there is value to wisdom over folly, like the value of light over darkness. The wise person has eyes in his head, and the fool walks in darkness. And then I realized that the same fate, same decree awaits all of them. Is the wise man and the fool both die in the end. V'amarti ani b'libi k'mikrei ha'kasil gam ani yikreni v'lama chachamti ani az yoser v'dibarti b'libi shegam ze hevel. And he says, and the fate of the fool is what awaits me. And so for what reason then have I become wise? And I came to the conclusion this is too futile. Ki ein zichron l'chacham im ksil olam, because there's no eternal memory for the wise man, just the same as the fool. B'shechvar hayamim habayim hakol nishchach ve'ech yamus hachacham im ksil. And because as the days go by, in the future days, both will be forgotten. Everyone is forgotten. And the wise man and the fool die together. And so he says, well, stuff is no good, so maybe wisdom is better. Being wise is better than being a fool. But then both the wise men and the foolish men die and are forgotten. And so what benefit is there to either of them? V'sanesies hachayim ki ra alai hamas shenas tachas hashamash ki yikol hevel rus ruach. And so I hated life because that was evil to me, all that you do underneath the sun, because all of it is futile and chasing wind. He's saying that it seems he's depressed now is because it seems like there's no point to anything. And then I hated all the toil and the wealth that I accumulated while under the sun, because it's going to go to a person who comes after me. And who knows whether he'll be wise or an idiot. And who knows that he'll be wise or foolish. And then he'll control everything that I gained by working and through wisdom that's underneath the sun. And this too is futile. So the success, you don't know whether your children or your heirs are going to be smart or idiots, but they still get the stuff in the end. And you worked hard, and they just get it, whether they deserve it or not. V'saposiani leyayish es libi al kol ha'emal shamalti tachas hashamish. And then I came to view with despair all of the things that I had toiled for underneath the sun. And ki yesh adam she'amalo b'chachma v'das v'chishron, because it will come that a man will work with wisdom and understanding and knowledge and skill. Oli adam shelo amal bo yitnenu chelko gamze hevel v'raba, and then he'll hand it up to somebody who didn't work for it, and this too is hevel, and it's a great evil. Ki mehove la'adam b'chol amalo obrayon libo shehu amal tachas hashemesh. But what does a man get for all the toiling and worrying he does under the sun? Ki kol yamav mechovim b'kas inyano gam b'layla lo shachav libo gam ze hevelhu. All his days are grief and heartache, and at night his mind has no respite. This too is futile. Ein tov ba'adam sheyochel b'shasa b'hera as nafsho tov ba'amalo gamzo ra'is yani ki miyad halokim hi. There's nothing worthwhile for a man to do except to eat and drink and enjoy himself by his means, because this too comes from God. Ki mi yochel mi yachush chutz mimeni, because who eats and who drinks except for me? Ki l'adam shetov lefanav nasan chachma v'das simple l'choten because to a person who is was pleased him, that him being God is pleasing before him, as it's given wisdom and knowledge and joy. L'choten nosan inyan lesof l'chnos l'seis tov l'tov l'fnei Elokim gam zehevel rus ruach. And the one who displeases, he too gathers and amasses, only for it to be passed on to somebody who has done good before the Lord, before God, and this too is futile and chasing of wind. So Koheles is saying in the end that there is good stuff in the world, and it's fun to have wealth and to drink and to eat and to be happy and to be merry, and because this too is from God. This the negative aspects. This is the way that God designed the world. Is everybody lives and everybody dies. That's just the way of the world. So there's no need to be philosophical about it. There's no need to be vexed by the unfairness of it, because it happens to everybody, and this is the way that God structured the world. And so why not eat and drink and enjoy yourself, because that is your pleasure, and nobody can take that away from you, is that you enjoy the things that God's given you, because he's given it to you, and so you might as well enjoy it. And the fact that it's going to go, and the wicked person might get something, and then it leaves him too and goes to somebody who's righteous. And the righteous person passes it on to somebody. You might be righteous, you might be bad, he might be a fool, he might be smart. We don't know. And this happens to everybody, regardless of whether they're good, they're bad, nothing. So the thing to do, says Koheles, is to enjoy your lot in life, is to take what you get and be satisfied with it. Because if you get hung up on the stuff, you're going to be miserable. If you get hung up on the fact that somebody else is going to end up with your stuff and they didn't work for it, not going to be appreciated. It's going to be miserable. You can't know how your heirs and your descendants and your are going to turn out. So, but this happens to everybody. The wicked people have righteous descendants. The righteous people have wicked descendants. The wise person has a fool for a descendant. The fool has a wise person for a descendant. You cannot know what's coming because God made the world this way. And so, in a sense, it's an insult to God to say that um, um, to worry about it. God put this stuff here. He put you in the world. You're supposed to take advantage of the good things, and you can be sad at the bad things because everybody is equal in the mortalness. So, um, um, and there you go. And Koheles' comment, this comes to Hevel Rus Ruach at the end of this, is that he's kind of concluding this chapter. This is the end of the chapter by saying that he understood this, but he failed at it in the end. Is that he ended up fretting over the stuff and worrying where it's going to go, and that's pointless. And so he's upset that he worried about it. Now that he comes to understand that it's not something you can worry about, that you just sort of have to be philosophical. You take the good, you take the bad, and let it roll with it, and worry about the future, and know that the world will unfold according to God's plan, as it will. And he said he failed to do that, and so he's upset about that. So this is the end of chapter 2 of Koheles. Next time, chapter 3 is the very, very famous and very well known um, uh, the catalog of times, the luach of the itim, the times, that was made famous by the Birds song in the 1960s, "Turn, Turn, Turn," and so you have to wait for the itim for the next time.